Hey guys, Movie Fan 2002 here, and Happy New Year to every single one of you. We are now in 2025. Man, there's a lot to look forward to this year. While 2024 was a really good year in my opinion, 2025, although there will be some things that we are kind of going to fear in 2025, even though we should still maintain a positive spirit every day, there's some really fun stuff to look forward to, especially on my end where I'm going to be graduating college and get myself ready for a career in the future, especially with a career course I'm taking. And of course, what better way to look to the new year than for me to look at some of the most anticipated films that are coming out. More specifically, my top 10 most anticipated films of 2025. These are the movies this year that I'm so looking forward to and just really excited to watch. Anyways, but without further ado, let's get started. But before we begin, I do have some honorable mentions, and they are as follows. The honorable mentions are Elio, Karate Kid Legends, a Minecraft movie, Michael Jackson's biopic film, Sinners, Mickey 17, and Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. All really exciting sounding films, but they just couldn't make the list. So without further ado, let's quit wasting time and get started.
You want me? Come and get me!
Off our list, I have Captain America Brave New World at number 10. Now, yes, I understand some of the concerns this movie's bringing up with some of the test screening results not doing that well. And yeah, I understand that the last time people were hyped for an MCU movie that was released in February, well, the end result was, how can we put this?
My name is Darren, and
I can understand why there's some skepticism towards it. But I'm in the minority and I'm actually want to give this film a chance. It does look awesome. I mean, we're finally going to have Sam Wilson have his own solo movie as Captain America at long last. We're going to see Red Hulk in the MCU, and the leader's going to be in this. We're going to see Sam Wilson's buddy from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier in this as well. That's going to be pretty awesome. They're going to bring in Adamantium into the MCU. Just so much stuff to look that just sound exciting. That, and also it kind of seems fitting to release this film during this period, considering that you know who back in office. So this kind of makes sense. That, and I might as well flat out say it, I'm actually in the minority that actually likes the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, I know some people don't like the show, but compared to some of the other MCU Disney Plus shows released after that one, this one is among the better ones in my opinion. I'm being dead serious. The show is not that bad as many people think it is. You should give it a rewatch and see what you may think. I can understand the criticisms. I do. I just have my own personal preferences, that's all. And still, Sam Wilson is now taking up the show as Captain America, and it looks really cool. And don't tell me that the action doesn't look awesome from the trailers, because they certainly do. Now, that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. I'm not saying that this film's going to be as good as Winter Soldier or Civil War, and maybe it won't be as good as the first Avenger, but either way, I still think it will still be a solid Captain America film to the franchise. We're just going to have to wait and see when February arrives. And the fact that it's coming out on Valentine's Day this year, it makes sense. Marvel does what Sony doesn't. I'm sorry, I just find it to be absolutely hilarious. Anyways, moving on. For number 9, I have Avatar: The Way of Water. Now, I know it's something... Now, yes, I'm still going to make a statement. I actually do enjoy the James Cameron's Avatar films. I still do. And I still do like The Way of Water, which I am planning about rewatching those films before the new movie, of course. Now, and yes, I do understand that the title is giving off a lot of Avatar: The Lost Airbender vibes, especially with the fire and ash. But even so, I'm still willing to give this film a shot because, well, James Cameron knows how to deliver a big screen experience, and I'm just down for the third film. And I love how we're introducing some Na'vi that are not entirely on the good side. So it will be interesting to add more extra conflict towards the story. And plus, considering that the film was filmed at the same time as Way of Water, the characters won't necessarily age. Besides, it took more time just to do all the VFX comparing to all the to like filming the movie. Oh, and just one more thing I should clarify for when the movie comes out. Don't watch it on a regular movie screen. Go for IMAX 3D. Believe me, it was worth it for when I saw Way of Water in theaters, so I feel like I have to feel like that this is pretty much an obligation, pretty much like a requirement for these types of films. Yeah, say what you will about 3D not being as prominent as it used to, but I feel like it's worth it for movies like these. Anyways, yeah. What else can I say? I'm personally looking forward to these films. Yes, I get it, the Avatar movies are not like the best things in the world, but even I still have to admit that these films are really good, and the second film was better than the first film. So yeah, if they can continue on getting better, that's fine with me. Now, I know some of you guys are wondering, wait a minute, why would you put a sports movie in a top 10 most anticipated films list? I put this film in for a few reasons. One, it looked pretty cool from that trailer. Two, I kind of do like sports movies at times, especially that my dad is a big sports fanatic. And third, and this is the main reason why I'm looking forward to this film, especially when it comes out during the summer, is being directed by Joseph Kosinski, who, aka the same guy who directed, in my opinion, my favorite film of the decade so far, Top Gun Maverick. And if he was able to do something as awesome as give us a sequel, a legacy sequel that was fantastic to the point that I got a Best Picture nomination, then I feel like that this movie's in great hands. I think it's gonna be one of those more dramatic features and like one of the more better movies of the summer. Plus, for a non-comic book film that's coming out during the summer, and we will get to those very soon, don't you worry. This seems like to be like the perfect fit of them, where it has some drama and action, but it also works very well together. So yeah, F1 sounds very cool. Plus, Brad Pitt is like the main star. So that proves my point.
The Duck?
That's right, the Duck.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?
Who's there?
Finally, after a long time of waiting and wondering if this was never going to come out, we're finally getting The Day the Earth Blew Up. A movie that we've been waiting for so long. I mean, if you know about the history of this film and of trying to get this movie out, and David Zaslav's liking towards animated films these days, at least made by Warner Brothers, then you can definitely tell that this was a nightmare just to find a distributor. But the fact that they finally did, and it's finally going to get its official release, is just awesome. I remember seeing the trailer back in December, and I was just like, yes, it's finally coming out. Yes, I mean, we'll have to wait till the end of next month, obviously. I mean, the very last day of next month. But I'm not complaining. The fact that it's finally coming out is just wonderful. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to have that classic Looney Tunes style. I mean, Daffy and Porky Pig are just could like play off each other as they did in most of the cartoons. And it's just going to be all around, it's just going to be so much fun. Plus, the fact that we have a hand-drawn animated film and a mainstream one coming out is going to be fantastic. It's time, and I hope many people go and see this movie, because just so we can remind people that hand-drawn is still as prominent as computer animation these days. Yeah, not much else to say except it's finally happening. The fact that it's finally happening is just, this is like a dream come true.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
Thank God.
The Thunderbolts. It's a cool name.
I'm gonna be honest, this was a film where I wasn't expecting it to crack the top 10 most anticipated films of the year, because like at first I thought Thunderbolts was gonna be like looked good enough, but like not that good. But then once my mind went from being casually optimistic to getting really excited for this one. From the looks of the trailers, it seems like it's going to deliver this really fun and really hilarious feature. Okay, maybe not hilarious, as is more intense, but the fact that we're getting Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad just looks awesome. The James Gunn one, not the one from 2016. It looks really cool, not only because of the team up we have, including Yelena, Red Guardian, John Walker, Ghost, Taskmaster, Bucky, and Sentry. Yes, the guy who's named Bob is actually Sentry. which is just so exciting. But also, not counting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this is the first non multiverse MCU team-up movie since, well, Avengers Endgame. So there's a lot of big stuff riding on this one. Plus, it does make sense as it will be released on May 2nd, meaning that it will release at the beginning of the summer movie season. It does seem kind of refreshing for the MCU to do this route. So yeah, I can't wait for when the movie comes out. Although I do need a question: is the Thunderbolts the actual team name, or is that hyphenating question that like we're gonna get their real name by the end of the film? Oh well, we'll have to wait and see. Even though I'm with Red Guardian, that title seems pretty good. Oh yeah, more David Harbour.
You're a girl.
Yep, for number 5, I have a tie between not one, but 2 animated sequels, both from Disney and DreamWorks. The first of which being Zootopia 2. Now, I know what some of you guys are about to be concerned about, but don't worry. Unlike Moana 2, this one was always planned to be a movie from when they first planned about it, since not long after the first film was released in 2016. I get the concerns, but you can put those worries to rest. Well, even though there might be some skepticism throughout the year, but I figure like once we get more and more footage of the film, the less concern will be. And plus, I have a feeling this one will be a $1 billion hit both on a critical and financial level for Disney. I mean, if Inside Out 2 was able to make a lot of money at the box office, even ending off as the highest grossing film of not just of the year, but also the highest grossing animated film ever made, then who's to say that Zootopia 2 can't crack $1 billion as well, despite the fact that it's going to be released around the same time, released a few weeks before Avatar Fire and Ash, and a few days after another movie that'll be appearing later on this list. But either way, I'm still really looking forward to Zootopia 2, as the first film is not only one of my favorite Disney films, but they can also dive into some more political thriller stuff, and also explore more of the city, maybe have an actual legitimate threat this time. And also Kiki Kwan's in this, and also Shakira's writing another song for the end credits of the film, because Try Everything was such a banger. I doubt it will be as good as that song, but we'll have to wait and see. Now debating if this film will be as good as the first film, that depends considering Disney, because like most of the Disney sequels, regardless if they are good or not, aren't as good as the originals. The only one I could say topped the original film, in my opinion, was The Rescuers Down Under. The other ones are a bit of a mixed sort of thing. But either way, I'm still looking forward to the film, as again, it is one of my favorite Disney films. And as for the DreamWorks sequel, the bad guys are making their return with the Bad Guys 2. And I'm really looking forward to this. While Puss in Boots: Last Wish may be the superior DreamWorks film that year, I shouldn't undermine the Bad Guys in the slightest. And thank God we're finally getting a sequel after 2 really bad specials on Netflix. No pun intended, because those ones were really bad. But still, the original cast is back, the animation quality is back to where it was in the first film because it's the theatrical sequel. I like that they're introducing some new villains, and they're gonna probably put an interesting conflict. Like they want them to like do a heist with them, and it's gonna conflict them like if they are gonna continue being good or if they should be bad guys. It's gonna be very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, let's just hope that the villain is a lot more of a better one this time compared to that Professor Marmalade in the first film. While I didn't expect that he was going to be the villain when I first watched the movie, I agree that he wasn't really that good of a twist villain. But either way, I'm still looking forward to this film, and these are 2 animated sequels that I have no doubt will be freaking awesome. At least in my opinion. At number 4, I have The Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Yeah, I know, it just had to be done. But either way, despite this being placed at number 4, I'm still really looking forward to this film. I am so hyped for this one. Anyways, I'm so glad that the MCU's finally getting their own Fantastic Four movie, even though this is going to be set more of an alternate universe, despite the fact that it's going to be setting up for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars for the upcoming years, starting with Doomsday next year. In fact, there are even some rumors going around that RDJ might make a cameo during the end credits of the film because of the revealment at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm just so freaking hyped for this movie. Not only is the casting that they got great with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, and the guy from The Bear playing the Thing. But it also has like the 1960 vibe. Looks pretty cool. It's not an origin, so we know what we're going to expect. And I'm just really it's just great that we're going to see Marvel's First Family on the big screen as part of Marvel Studios. Yeah, there's not really that much for me to add as of yet, because like we haven't really got like any official footage, although that'll probably change by the time the Super Bowl rolls around. But there's one interesting thing that I've somewhat noticed like throughout the century so far. Notice how like in every year this century that ends with the final number is number 5, we get a Fantastic Four movie. Think about it. In 2005, we got like the Tim Roth films. I think it was Tim Roth. Then 2015 we got Fan4stick, and now we have this film this year. I find it to be very interesting. Would I consider that to be a coincidence?
Coincidence? I think.
Nah, no. I feel like, or maybe it could be a coincidence. I don't know. Or is it? Okay, maybe I should move on to the next spot before I get too distracted. Yeah, I mean, come on. Were you that surprised this film was going to be on the most anticipated films of 2025 list? James Gunn's Superman looks fan-freaking-tastic, as it's going to be the start for the new DC universe. Sounds familiar, but it also brings Superman back to its roots and not being an origin story again. So like the Batman from a few years ago, which unfortunately is not coming out this year or next year. Why are they torturing us with this weight? But let's not worry about that. Let's get back onto this. Anyways, this film is shaping up to be like return to form for the character. And not to mention, Superman's going to have a big year this year with both this and the third season of My Adventures with Superman, which for those who are wondering, I actually did watch the show like not too long ago, and I can't believe it took me that long for me to get into it, because I freaking love it, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. Yeah, my God, 2024 was a better year for comic book animation than the movies, were they? Well, hopefully this will be a good year for both in general. But back onto this film. Yeah, this looks fantastic. And from what we got from that first trailer, as well as the poster, it looks incredible. Everything about it just truly honors Superman in such a great way. He's helping people when it needs most. David Crossland looks great in the role. Krypto looks adorable. Nicholas Hoult will probably be a pretty good Lex Luthor, even though maybe not the best kind, but still a good one. I like that it's not an origin, and now we can like focus on like Superman, but also go very well. And it just looks all around just so exciting, and like a great start for the DC universe that James Gunn is doing. It goes to show that he wants to like bring like a lot of love and care for it. And if that's the case, then I'm definitely gonna be there day one, because this is gonna be such an exciting feature. And might see it in IMAX just to get the full scope of it. But yeah, either way, I'm just really so excited, and we might possibly get the best Superman film since the original 1978 Richard Donner movie. And if that's the case, then we're going to be in for such a fantastic feature. Yeah, I know some of you guys may be shocked, but my runner-up for the most anticipated films of this year is Wicked for Good. Now, I know what you guys may be thinking. Wait, how is this movie got the number 2 spot? Especially that you put this movie at number 6 on your top 15 favorite movies of 2024. Hear me out. Yes, I put the movie at number 6, although, to be fair, rewatches might probably bump the movie up even more. But I loved it so much that my expectations for this film are just so freaking high that I feel like I have to place it at a really high spot. I mean, if it weren't for the number 1 spot, this would be at number 1. But yeah, I'm freaking looking forward to this film. I wouldn't say can't wait to see how the story ends, because I have seen the Broadway show. But even so, I'm really looking forward to this film, especially that they said that part 2 will be kind of darker, but also still really fantastic. Not only am I still looking forward to seeing the return of the cast members, although this is part 2, but we're gonna have a time jump 5 years into the future where it'll be showing the perspectives of the original Wizard of Oz from Elphaba and Glinda's perspective, even though it can also fix my biggest problem with Act 2 of the stage musical, in that it was really short. I mean, like, compared to Act 1 was like 90 minutes long, while Act 2 was just like an hour. So naturally, there has to be a fixer-upper with that. Which is why I wouldn't be surprised if the movie has a longer runtime than Wicked Part 1, even though I'm probably just going to refer to the film as Wicked now, unless if the title card for Part 2 actually says Wicked Part 2. Well, I'm just not only really excited to be back in the world again, but also to hear, like, the cast versions of the news of, like, the songs from Act 2. Especially, of course, As Long As You're Mine, No Good Deed, and especially the title song, of course, For Good. Which, speaking of which, there's actually an extra meaning behind it, although this is more for, like, the stage musical. The song was wrote, like, as like a question Stephen Schwartz asked his daughter. If you got to see your friend again, what would you say to her, like, in a much more bittersweet way? And she talked about, like, how people come to our lives, which got the inspiration for Stephen Schwartz to make the song, which of course led to pretty much one of the most wholesome and bittersweet moments of not just the musical, but possibly of musical theater in general. So naturally, of course, I am just so excited to see this film. And although I do feel sympathy for those who haven't seen the show, because, well, good luck getting through 2025 without being spoiled by a lot of people who have seen the show, because there are some big twists that will come out, especially at the end where dude, do not spoil. Don't worry, I wasn't gonna spoil what was gonna happen to Buck and Fierro during that portion of the show. Oh, good. For a second there, I thought you were going with. And should at least know that Alba actually makes it out okay in the end, despite the fact that all of us doesn't. Are you crazy? My God, what's wrong with you? Okay, you know what? Never mind. Let's just go to the number one spot before this gets any further.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Yep, like with Dead Reckoning Part 1 back in 2023, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning gets the number one spot for my most anticipated films of 2025. And can you blame me? I am just so freaking hyped for this film. In fact, no joke, during the first few weeks when this trailer was out, I watched this trailer constantly. I'm not joking. This trailer was just so freaking phenomenal. In fact, I'm going to go as far and say it's the best movie trailer for 2024. Just get me so hyped to watch this film, and I'm just so ready to see this trailer. So ready to see this film. And very fitting, because, like, you remember what I said at the start of this video when I said I'll be graduating from college this year? Well, it's actually coming out a week after I graduate, so this will be a perfect time to do so. I mean, of course, it's coming out Memorial Day weekend, obviously. Not to mention that, like with Sonic the Hedgehog 3, it'll also be facing off against a Disney live-action remake with Lilo and Stitch, although that one doesn't seem that bad. But it's going to be nothing comparing to this. This is hopefully, even though we don't entirely know if that's actually true, the final Mission Impossible film. Meaning that, like, and this went on for nearly 3 decades since 1996, and Tom Cruise and Ving Rhames were in all the movies. I'm just so freaking hyped that we're finally getting this movie. Yeah, it did suck that we had to wait another year, although then again, I guess the writer's strike had to be blamed for that. But so I'm not going to put too much on that. But still, we're finally going to get Part 2, and it's shaping up to be a pretty awesome and pretty epic end to the Mission Impossible franchise. How will this all end? How will Ethan Hunt get out of this? Who's going to die? I have no idea. But either way, I'm so freaking pumped for this film. I'm going to be there when it comes out. And I know for a fact it's going to be one of the best theater experiences of the year. And I'm certainly so pumped. And that's what made Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning my number one most anticipated movie of 2025. And there you go. Those are my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. Comment down below and let me know what your most anticipated films of 2025 are. And thank you all so much for watching, and hope you all have a happy new year. Till then, peace and take care.